If there's one thing this past E3 proved, it proved that Nintendo is not afraid to go back into their catalog and pull franchises and series that they haven't visited in a long time. Nintendo announced the upcoming returns of Advance Wars, WarioWare, and of course 2D Metroid, and even Cruising is back as well. Hey everyone, it's Game Camilla here, back at you with another video. And today, I'm going to talk about 5 Nintendo franchises that Nintendo needs to bring back on the Switch. Now, Nintendo has one heck of a catalog of franchises, lots and lots. There's more than 5 that could possibly be brought back, but these are 5 that I feel that have the best shot of coming back to the Nintendo Switch. The first franchise that I feel like Nintendo needs to bring back is a franchise that I absolutely love that we got very few games of, and that is Custom Robo. Now, we got the GameCube and the DS Custom Robo games, which were the last 2 in the series, but it's been out in Japan since the N64 days. You might recognize some of the robots in Smash Brothers because they often appear as assist trophies and such. Custom Robo's premise is all about getting robotic parts, battling robots, building your own robot army, and again, just battling, and it's just so fun. The action is so good. I love the heck out of the GameCube game. To be honest, Custom Robo is one of my favorite GameCube games. I still come back to it. I got introduced to it a little bit late, a few years after it was released, but I absolutely fell in love with the game. And I feel like a modern take on Custom Robo, with all the unlockables you could get and the graphics and online play. Like, online would be a huge thing, a huge benefit that we really didn't get to experience a whole heck of a lot. Yes, the Nintendo DS version did have online, but that's long gone. And that was only 2-player mode. We could have 4-player battles or even more. This could be a really good asset, a really good fun game to add to the Nintendo Switch's army of awesome games. The next franchise I think needs to be revived on the Nintendo Switch is one where we last saw its main game on the Wii. Mario Baseball, or Mario Super Sluggers, which was a sequel, are baseball games based on the Mario franchise. Look, we've seen Nintendo bring back Mario Tennis, of course, Mario Golf now coming to the Nintendo Switch. I really feel like baseball needs a modern take, a modern Mario game on the Nintendo Switch. While both games were pretty fun, they were a little bit flawed, but I feel like Nintendo could really revisit these after letting them sit for so long and really have a good impact with it. Part of the reason why I want Mario Baseball series to come back too is there really isn't a good baseball series on the Nintendo Switch, at least over here in the States. And that's just being fair. Like, the baseball games that come out over here are mediocre at best and horrible at worst. And that's just part of the Nintendo Switch's library that is just lacking, if I have to say. It's just lacking. I feel like Nintendo has the best shot of producing a baseball game, albeit a little arcadey, and having success on the Nintendo Switch. Plus the Joy-Con controls, if you want to add some motion controls in it, as an option that they've added to these other sports titles, you have the means to do that as well. I just want someone to really make a good baseball game for the Nintendo Switch. Someone, anyone, please, make a good baseball game for the Nintendo Switch. The next franchise that I feel like Nintendo should revive on the Nintendo Switch is one that is not really for myself, but I recognize the popularity of, and that is Nintendogs. Now, it's not everybody's cup of tea for sure, but I recognize that this series was really popular on the Nintendo DS and 3DS handhelds. For those that might be unaware, the Nintendogs series was a series by Nintendo where you had puppies that you obtained through the pet shop that you play with, you walk, you interact with. I know it sounds a little silly, but But these simulation games were a lot of fun, and they had their own Nintendo charm, of course. These style of simulation games are still popular in Japan. You see it a little bit on the Nintendo Switch, but I feel like Nintendo giving their best shot for a modern Nintendogs game. Albeit not one where they had like so many different versions. I would say just one this time. One of those would really be popular, especially with the younger crowd. A lot of times as gamers, we like to focus on games just for ourselves, but we have to remember that Nintendo Switch is for everyone. It's a family console. It's for everyone. Mature games, younger kids games, all that. And I feel like this would be a nice fill-in for the younger crowd. And of course for those that want a game that maybe isn't so intense, or maybe a game that is just different from the normal games that we've seen on Nintendo Switch. The next franchise is one that we saw back on the Nintendo Wii, but we haven't seen since, and that is Punch-Out! Punch-Out! Is a legendary series that goes back all the way to the arcades, actually, and of course for a lot of people, the NES or the Famicom. But on the Nintendo Switch, this game would be perfect. A modern Punch-Out! Would be perfect, even if it's not something of a full retail release. Early on in Nintendo Switch's lifespan, there was a game released called ARMS. And ARMS is a very fun game if you've never played it before. But one of the things I was really impressed was the motion controls for that game. I never struggled with playing that game. It felt so accurate to play with the motion controls. And honestly, if you never got a chance to play ARMS, you really need to do so. It's becoming a bit of a hidden gem of sorts because I feel like a lot of people have slept on that game. But I digress. When I got to experience it for the first time, my immediate thought that came to me was this setup would be perfect for a Punch-Out! Game. I can imagine it now where playing Punch-Out! with the Joy-Cons, just having fun, dodging in and out, just like you could in ARMS. Heck, I would even go so far as to say I would like a port of the Wii version. I know a lot of people are like, oh my god, so many ports for the Switch, but a modern port, like a cheaper port with the motion controls with the Joy-Cons added, that would be a lot of fun. Honestly, that would be a lot of fun, and I would definitely get it. But regardless of how Nintendo brings it over, the Punch-Out! Series, a new Punch-Out! Or a remaster of the Wii one or whatever, that would be great to bring over. And hopefully we see a new Punch-Out! Sooner than later. The very last one I have on this list is one that I feel like everyone is in agreement that it needs to return. This series needs to return. And it's FZero. We haven't seen a main console release since all the way back in 2003. And as far as a new game in the series, we haven't seen one since 2004 on the Game Boy Advance. This is a series that really needs no introduction. The Super Nintendo game is a legendary game. The one on the N64 was popular. The GameCube one is legendary as well, and that is actually going up in value. It's been too long. It has been too long. We should have got an F-Zero game on the Wii or the Wii U. And Mario Kart has pretty much had Nintendo's complete racing experience for the last almost 2 decades. It is time for a new F-Zero. If they're not going to make Mario Kart 9 anytime soon, a new F-Zero on the Switch, it would be mind-blowing. Heck, even the Cruis'n series is back after so long. It actually came back in 2017 and it's going to have a home retail release this year. F-Zero, where are you, Nintendo? You are dropping the ball. If there's anything from this list that needs to come back, any franchise, it is F-Zero. It's been way too long, and Nintendo really needs to remedy that. And there you go. That is 5 Nintendo franchises that Nintendo needs to revive and bring back on the Nintendo Switch. Is there any that I missed? Is there any that you feel like needs to be brought back as well? Put them down in the comments down below. If you liked the video, consider giving it a thumbs up. That really helps me out. And consider subscribing. I do new videos each and every week. Trying to reach 500 subscribers. I'm going to do another giveaway once that happens. Guys, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I will catch you next time.